Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away, with 11 live action movies. What are my rankings? Which one of them are good? What's the best one? What do I think of them? That's coming up next. First, if you want a free ebook, Epic Fantasy ebook, go in the description and click on that link. Remember to subscribe to this channel for more great content. Now let's get to it. Welcome back to Great Stories Change the World. This is the YouTube channel where a fantasy science fiction author, that's me, looks over movies and media and books and TV shows and analyzes them from a writer's perspective, from an author's perspective. And today, we're going to go over all the Star Wars live action movies. Now, we could have put Clone Wars in here, but it was an animated feature, and I don't really count that as a movie as far as in the theater, although it was in the theater. I get it. We're going to do the live action movies that came out in the theaters, and I'm going to rank them. Now, it is no secret I am a huge Star Wars fan, and George Lucas, let's give him some credit. Man, he changed the way we tell stories. He changed the way we look at science fiction, the way we look at action adventure, storytelling in a big way, and special effects. This isn't about how great George Lucas is, but this is an amazing universe. And not only have I watched all the movies, obviously, I've seen all the TV shows, I've watched all the animated stuff, I've watched all the specials. I even remember watching the Christmas special live on TV when I was a kid. I love Star Wars. I'm a huge fan. But that doesn't mean everything that Star Wars has come out with is good. Like, it's a great universe. I've read a lot of the books, right? Forgot to mention that. Comic books. I had toys, all of it. But that doesn't mean that everything that comes out of this property is awesome. And so I'm going to go into the top 11. I'm going to go from 11 to 1, all right? So without any further ado, let's get into it, all right? Starting with number 11, we have The Last Jedi, all right? This was the second in the sequels. And let me just say, this is an awful movie. And if it wasn't for Star Wars, I never would have watched it. I've only watched it once. I might have watched it twice, just because I think I had two different tickets at two different times to the theater. But this is the only Star Wars movie I do not own a physical copy of because it is that bad. I just can't tell you how many problems there are with this movie. From a writer's perspective, they have some great characters that they just didn't do anything with. They have whole storylines that just not only do they not make sense, the storylines, but then they don't do anything with the characters and they don't resolve well. It's like they've just wasted our time for a third of the movie. So there's just a lot of problems with this movie. And it's kind of evidence of the bigger problems with all of the sequels is that there just wasn't a plan. So that's number 11. Number 10, also one of the sequels, is Rise of Skywalker. So this is the very last one. And again, because there wasn't a plan, obviously there wasn't a plan. Whoever, Abrams or whoever was putting this together, Kathleen Kennedy, they didn't do what all the other Star Wars trilogies, well, the other two, the prequels and the original, there wasn't a plan. There wasn't a scope to follow. They just kind of made it up as they went along, and it's just a mess. And so you kind of see a lot of that here with Rise of Skywalker, where there's some great moments and there's some cool moments that I really enjoyed. But overall, the movie is a mess, and it doesn't just kind of bring you together at the end the way that you want the last movie of a trilogy to do. Like a great trilogy will do that, okay? It'll show you that there's been a plan the whole time and have arcs that kind of follow through 3 movies. This didn't do that. Number 9, The Force Awakens. Now, this was the best of the sequels, although that's not really saying much. But at least this gave us hope, right? This is the best as far as like we introduced a great character. I love Finn as a character. And one of the greatest tragedies in the Star Wars universe is they didn't do anything with the guy. The guy is a great character, former stormtrooper and a person of color. And it's just, he had a great character, story and everything. they just didn't do anything with them. Rey was kind of cool. They brought back a lot of the originals, and of course, there was a lot of nostalgia. But of course, it's just a copy where there's a whole nother Death Star and the trenches and the whole thing. And so it's really not that great of a movie overall, but it does have some great moments. And so I dig this one a little bit. Number 8, we have The Phantom Menace, all right? Hey guys, let's go back to the Star Wars universe after years, and we've been begging for more Star Wars, and there's great special effects now. Let's do a lot of politics and political maneuvering and trade embargoes. That's exciting. This had its issues as well, and this was George Lucas. You can't blame it on Kathleen Kennedy or Disney or anybody. This is straight up George Lucas. And this one beats out the other ones because at least it's George Lucas, and at least we get one of the best, if not the best, lightsaber battles in the whole of Star Wars. The whole Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, that whole thing, the Duel of the Fates, the music. This puts this at least, out of the end here. This brings it up into the forefront from the sequels for me. But there it is. Number 7, we have Solo. I actually really like this one. And there's a lot of parts of it that I do like. In some ways, if there had been a couple different elements, I might have put it higher. But this one beats out The Force Awakens and definitely all the other sort of sequels. This beats it because guess what? Han Solo shot first. And there was just some great elements to this movie. Acting is kind of so-so. It's a little predictable here and there. But I really did kind of like this movie a lot. It's definitely fun. Now we're getting into number 6. We're getting into Attack of the Clones. Now, the movies are getting progressively better, obviously, as we're going down the list. Attack of the Clones had its issues as well. And yet, at least we get a lot of backstory. We get some character development with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you get a little bit better sort of elements of kind of the rise of Darth Sidious, and we got Yoda and a lightsaber. We had some great lightsaber scenes and lightsaber battles, and we got to see Yoda. Man, I remember being in the theater and people standing up and cheering on opening night when Yoda started just going to town with a lightsaber, man. Like, that puts it right all up there, okay? You also had Jango Fett, and that whole battle was really cool. All right, now with number 5, we've got Revenge of the Sith, all right? So this was overall, I think, the best of the movies of the prequels, even though they really flubbed up the whole arc with Anakin. It just kind of fell flat to me. You just did not believe he was going to turn to the dark side, even though we knew it. It was predictable, right? We knew it was going to happen, but it just kind of fell flat, whether that was acting, writing, a combination of both. I just don't feel like they did a great job with that. But we had some great lightsaber battles, and the final battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin was kind of put together by Spielberg, which is one of the reasons why this movie is where it is on my list. It's one of the best kind of put together lightsaber battles in the sense of just the story within the story that is, and Ewan McGregor's acting there at the end, where you're my brother, and I'll love you, Anakin, and how disappointed he was, and that agony that he felt. Man, you just totally bought into it, and it was a great job. Great job. But again, number 4, though, we have Rogue One. Now, Rogue One is an amazing movie. Rogue One leaves nothing to be desired as a movie. I love this movie, and it is so interesting. It is so unique, and they kind of continue a lot of that style with Andor, although I don't think Andor is as good as Rogue One. But Rogue One, it's like a Dirty Dozen. It's like it's just this really cool like war movie, but placed within Star Wars. It's a great mashup. And I thought they did a great job. So Rogue One comes in at number 4, and it's the best Star Wars movie outside of the original 3. It just is on so many different levels: acting, writing, and all that sort of stuff. It's what you want out of a great Star Wars movie. Number 3, Return of the Jedi. This was the end of the original trilogy. I mean, I remember just like going crazy waiting for this movie to happen. This movie could have been maybe higher. This could have been better on this list, but they did Ewoks instead of the Wookiees. I think if they had gone Wookiees, this might have been the best in the whole series. And if they had gotten Spielberg to direct it like it had originally been kind of planned, I think this one would have been the best Star Wars movie. I think all those sort of things combined, it wrapped up well, great themes, great ideas, just all the payoffs were there. And so this is a great movie, right? Number 2, we have A New Hope. And I'm putting A New Hope here. I know it was the original. I know this is the first, and it really is a great movie. It's well done, especially for the limited budget and time and just kind of how strung together that movie was. It still is a great movie, man. It is a great movie, but it is not as good overall as Empire Strikes Back. That is the best Star Wars movie. And anyone will tell you that unless they just want to put Star Wars on there, because without Star Wars, there wouldn't be an Empire Strikes Back. But Empire Strikes Back, directed by Irvin Kershner, the acting was there. The special effects, took a whole nother sort of leap with that. And man, the character arcs are there. There's romance, there's action. Man, we got a real lightsaber battle. Finally, we kind of had one. It was cool in concept, but you had a couple old guys just kind of swatting the lightsabers around. But now you had a great battle. You had the big like twist at the end. Like, this movie has it all, and it's a perfect movie. Like, there are no missing elements in this movie. It flows well. It's got great pacing, and it is the perfect sequel. It is one of those few movies that I think outdoes the original. So that's my list of the top 11 Star Wars movies. Let me know what you think of my list. Put it in the comments. Remember to subscribe so you can get some more great content. Go into the description and follow me on all sorts of Facebooks and Instagrams and TikToks and all that stuff. Get a free book, all of that, all right? So until next time, Christmas movies are coming up, all right? So that's next week. So check back in, subscribe. Peace.